It is very, very exciting. It's all over, but are these the three contenders, Sean? What do you think?
You would have to say so. Yeah, you would have to say that the way the table is set up. But we know what the Christmas period's like. And as you've just seen the table, there could be a lot of movement over the next 3 or 4 games and it could rotate and change again. So at the minute, because City's like up there, I'm going to say yeah. But if City was down, I'll maybe not say the same thing.
And City are breathing down Arsenal's necks now because of what happened last week. A last-minute winner conceded there by them to Aston Villa. Emi Buendia off the bench and onto the score sheet. Is this where they fall apart? Is this what everyone is waiting to see?
I wouldn't necessarily say fall apart. I think and thought Villa were the better team across the 90 minutes in that game. But at Villa Park, on Villa's day, they could do that to anybody. They've done it to City in title winning form, so we know how good they are. So you've got to give a bit of credit to Villa. But at the same time, how do Arsenal bounce back? Wolves on the weekend is the perfect game to do it for them.
They've already, as you mentioned at the top of the show, done a fair bit of that in midweek, but yet another centre-back partnership for them in that game.
Yeah, it's not easy, all these changes, but I do think the way that Wolves' seasons has gone so far, I think they'll still feel like they've definitely got enough defensively. The relationship and the leadership issue and the communication at the back, you can see that's not quite as it was before the injuries. But I do think it, like Sean said, it's the perfect antidote to what happened last weekend. Yeah,
it was the 4th different centre-back partnership in the last 5 games. How important then, if they are to challenge for this title, if they are to finally get over the line, to have Gabriel and Saliba back?
Yeah, it will be massive. I don't think it's maybe Saliba's like too soon. I think it doesn't seem like he's too far away, but perhaps the weekend will be too much of a risk given the opponent. Yeah, their partnership is phenomenal. They're such a big part of why Arsenal finished where they did last season. And if they do win the league this season, that partnership will also play a big part.
Yeah, 70% win ratio, as we could just see there, with both of them starting. It drops to 33.3 if neither of them play. So that is huge. Of the 3 involved in that title race, as you've now confirmed for us, when you look at the fixtures this weekend, Man City, Crystal Palace is probably the toughest one.
It's more than tough. I think City, I wouldn't say always struggle against them, but the games are always difficult. And I think the way I saw City play in the week could kind of play into Palace's hands, because there was a few times where the 2 centre-backs were just one-on-one and they just peeled out into the far areas. So Palace will have opportunities and chances, but this goal from Ruben Diaz there was a strike. You want players from all round the team to score, and now City, but now City have started doing it. More players are getting involved, and Cherki seems to have found his feet. He's getting used to it. He seems like he trimmed down in weight. He seems like he's running a lot harder, and he's expressing himself. And me as a football fan, I need to see more players like that on the pitch.
Yeah, and Phil Foden suddenly has chipped in with goals, 5 in the last couple of games for him.
Yeah, so many attacking players in form. Doku's had a brilliant season. Cherki, as Sean mentioned, Foden's really bounced back after last season. So even though Haaland's kind of dropped off a little bit in the last couple of games, it's been massive for them how everyone's contributing.
So 5 goals in the last 5 Premier League matches for Phil Foden, and those are, as Sean said, the other players also chipping in with goals. Manchester City taking on Crystal Palace, who are also chasing Champions League football. Let's look at Aston Villa then, the dark horse in the race, suddenly put themselves right in the mix, just a further point behind City with that big victory, and they are actually, Flo, the form team.
Yeah, and they had another good result as well for them in Europe. So I think it's been a very, very positive couple of weeks. And don't forget, they kind of started the season in a bit of a struggle. So it's been amazing how they've put...
Can Arsenal win the league this year? No. Arsenal will win the league.
When you said no, you think they will win?
Why people ask can? They will.
Well, listen, you know, Man City, they're starting to chase us down a bit now. So,
well, I'm not, honestly, I'm very confident. Maybe because I'm not involved, but I'm very confident. We will do it.
What?
Actually, if Arsenal win the Premier League, it will make the competition so much more interesting with City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea on the rise. It's a very competitive Premier League. The high intensity and the way we play football, that you're getting more and more players injured, with muscle injuries, and that's something as well that we have to look at.
Do you understand that the fans want a bit more transparency?
I totally get it. And
yeah.
You're dealing with one of the most transparent chairmans in football. You know, I talk to fans all the time about everything. I'm on here all the time. I understand completely. I'm big on transparency, but you can't go against your manager. You can't go against your staff. You've got to do the right things.
Yeah, and I think you touched on this in the first hour, but I'm going to ask you, injuries, they're haunting Arsenal a little bit at the moment. In terms of when you look at the last 6, and Gary mentioned it in that press conference as well, they've dropped points in 3 of the last 6 games. Is it going to cost them ultimately in the big?
No, nothing dramatic, because they have a massive squad, probably the best squad in the Premier League. When
but
you look
said
at
Arsenal aren't going to win the league.
No, they won't win the league. That'll be Man City probably, but it would be good for the Premier League if Arsenal did win. But what I'm talking about is Arsenal's squad is quality over quantity, and they've got some quality players. I wouldn't lose sleep about Arsenal playing a couple of 18-year-olds from their academy. It's one of the best in the world, if they had to for a couple of games. But they have strength and depth. And by the sounds of it there, and listening to Arteta, those players who are out aren't far away.
So just asking for a friend, if it's not injuries that are going to cost Arsenal the league title, what is going to cost them that league title?
Potentially cojones.